Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Boss Championship Racing. And here we are for the 2024 IndyCar tournament. We've had an amazing turnout with 53 cars from all over the world are here at Lutsen International. As many of you know, I am Nils Nilsson here. I always wear this nice blue shirt. But to my left, joining our team is the legend Donnie McFadden. Welcome to the team, Donnie.
Thanks, Nils. This is a really cool opportunity, and I'm just happy to be here.
You've got a lot of experience in the Diecast racing world, so we're excited to have you with us, Donnie. Well, today we've got highlights from our qualifying session. Each driver was given a warm-up lap and then 2 qualifying laps. The quicker time would then be counted as their official qualifying time. And here we can see Arlo from Arlo Racing putting in a 11.5928. Drivers and teams were able to add weight and modify their cars for this tournament.
Well, here's Rory from the United Kingdom in the green number 44, putting in a great time.
Next up, we have Gilles Magnus from the Diecast family, all the way from Belgium.
So how much weight could be put into the cars?
Great question. Total weight could be up to 45 grams, and we found that actually it's more about balance on the track and not so much who's got the heaviest car. So,
sounds like you got to know how to drive.
Yeah, right. Well, Stray Dog puts in a 10.7041. Great time for Stray Dog.
You know, I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Yep, and that's why you're on the team. So next up is Giorgio from G-Force Racing. Giorgio in the Coke livery puts in a 10.7845. Well, we're very excited with the new section of track here. It is proving to be a very difficult and technical section, and so some of the cars had some trouble with it, and one in particular from Alaska, J-Man in the number 94 from Three Ravens Racing was unable to qualify due to stalling out both laps.
I guess it's not for everybody.
Well, we had 53 cars, 52 qualified, and your top qualifier from Uncle Elvis is Ralphus Hayes with an absolute screaming lap of a 10.4964 lap time.
Wow, that's impressive.
So here are the qualifying results. The top 12 will move into the second round automatically of the tournament. Well, Donnie, who impressed you and maybe who didn't impress you today?
Well, I gotta say, Feral Mods had 2 cars in the top 4, second and fourth, so they're definitely gonna be ones to watch. And I was a little disappointed with Arlo Racing and Crazy Canuck. I thought they would for sure be towards the top of the pile, but it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, that's a good take, and I mean, we've got a lot of racing to go. We've got a lot of cars from some of the best teams in the world. So stay tuned, everybody. Make sure to hit subscribe, and racing is coming up next.
What do you mean? I look at the red light.
Oh, hey, welcome back, everybody, to Boss Championship Racing. My name is Nils, and I'm here with my co-host, Donnie McFadden. We're so glad you are here joining us today. We're here for round 1. Groups 1 and 2 will be racing. Well, let's meet the drivers for group number 1. This is Stony Miles from Milestone Racing from Lawrence, Kansas.
And lining up next to him is J-Bo from Dobbs Squab Racing from South Point, Ohio.
And next up in the 37, the Canadian Indy Rain from Whitby, Ontario.
And one of my favorite liveries on the grid, Al Sr. from Scottman Racing from Muncie, Indiana.
Well, our grid is set for race number 1 of this anticipated tournament. We're just a moment away from going green. If you're new, the points look like this. There will be 4 laps, 4 races, and the cars will rotate clockwise, each getting an equal shot at each position. And the lights go green. Stony Miles off to a good start through the hairpin. And coming into the next section of track, pulling away And grabbing race number 1, Indy Rain in second, J-Bo in third, Al Sr. coming in fourth.
That was amazing. I've waited so long for this.
It's so great to see Indy back at the track. Well, here's an instant replay, and we can see here Stoney Miles just getting away. Indy Rain defending for P2, able to keep off J-Bo. But a great start to this tournament, and we're just getting started. So here are the points after race 1. Stoney Miles out in front with 5 points. And the cars are now going to rotate. Al Sr. gets a shot at pole. Here we go.
Come on, Al.
The group staying close together. And around the outside, Stoney Miles takes the lead. J-Bo as well, moving up to second.
Come on.
And to the line, Stoney Miles again with the win. And a bummer there for Al Sr. coming in third.
I thought he looked fast, but it looks like he's struggling a bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Stoney Miles is looking pretty hooked up around the track and grabs another very important 5 points. So after race number 2, Stoney Miles up to 10 points. J-Bo up to 5. Indy Rain and Al Sr. just hanging on at this point. Here we are at race number 3, Indy Rain and Al Sr. in the front row.
I don't have favorites, but come on, Al.
J-Bo close behind. Moves into second place, trying for the pass, can't make it work. And then goes to defend. What a finish at the line. Great racing all around. Here's the replay.
I'm glad to see Indy Rain out in front. He looks great up there.
He sure does. J-Bo keeping it close, though, trying to make that pass on the outside, but then Al Sr. trying to make it on the inside, just can't quite make it work. And so here are the points again after race number 3. It's a tight race. Anything can still happen.
I just hope that Indy Rain and J-Bo can give us a real good show.
No doubt about it. Here we go. Green, and they're off. J-Bo with an excellent start through the hairpin. But Stoney Miles into second place, but here comes Indy Rain. Can't make it work as Stoney Miles pulls away in P2. And Al Sr. coming in fourth.
I really thought Indy Rain had him, but just seemed to lack some pace when it mattered the most.
That's right, and J-Bo was able to pick up 5 points, which will put him into P2. And that is how it'll finish up. Stoney Miles with 14 points, J-Bo with 13. They will move on to round 2. But I have to say, a very impressive win for Stoney Miles, picking up 14 points. J-Bo as well fighting off Indy Rain and Al Sr. And unfortunately for those two, they will be heading home as they are now eliminated from the tournament.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. They're the coolest looking cars on the grid so far. But yeah, if you don't have the pace, then you're out of here.
Well, Donnie, after the first set of races, how are you feeling about being on the team and being at the track?
Man, honestly, this is the coolest job in the world. I used to drive, but I'm really enjoying it, Nils.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the team. Your perspective and humor is top-notch, man, so I'm glad to have you. Well, here are the drivers for group number 2. We've got from Scottman Racing, Swede Savage from Muncie, Indiana.
And next to him is Arlo from Arlo Racing from Walcott, Connecticut.
And in the second row, we've got Bolo Brown from Team Miniature Car Racing from Hudson, Florida, in the number 6.
And in the SupplyLifeStores.com 96 from Arlo Racing, this is Tim Terwillinger.
Well, here we go for group number 2 and round number 1. We are set for another great action-packed group of cars.
I probably shouldn't have a favorite. I don't want to be disappointed.
Well, we try to have a non-biased commentary, but here we go. Green, and they're off. Swede Savage in the 40, looking good. Tim Terwillinger right behind, but here comes Arlo into second, trying to go for first. And to the line. Too close to call. Arlo with a great charge. What a start to this group number 2.
That was seriously impressive from Arlo. I can't believe it was that close at the end.
Yeah, Arlo is showing some very serious straight line speed. And we'll have to get another look at that with our slow-mo overhead finish line camera. And man, is that close.
It's crazy.
Here it is again. Looks like Swede will take the race by just the tip of the nose and the skin of his teeth. We'll grab the 5 points. Arlo with 3, Bolo Brown with 1, and Tim Terwillinger with 2.
Is it Tim Terwillinger or Tim Terwillinger?
That's a good question. I guess we should probably figure that out. But here we go. Race number 2, going green. And Tim is out in front, inside of the hairpin. Bolo Brown right behind in second. Battle in the back. Looks like Sweet Savage able to stay in front of Arlo for P3. And even challenging for P2 right at the line. But here's the replay.
That was really cool from Tim, whatever his last name is. But yeah, he looked pretty good there.
He sure did. And Sweet Savage is looking pretty good on track as well.
And Bolo Brown coming in second. Those are some really valuable points.
Yeah, they sure are. Here's the finish line camera again. Looks like Sweet Savage, if he just had a little more track, could have made a pass. But after race 2, the points look like this. Donnie, who's impressed you so far?
You know, Arlo is looking really good on track. I know he only has 4 points, but he's still got a lot more in the tank.
Yeah, I think he's out for revenge after the F1 tournament. Well, here we go, race 3. Bolo Brown out in front, Arlo in the hunt. And to the line, Bolo Brown takes race 3, grabs 5 points. And man, Bolo Brown has had a quiet and strong performance today.
Yeah, he sure has. And Arlo, though, I really thought he's going to go for the win.
It looked pretty close at the end, but there's still another race. Here are the points razor thin between the 4 drivers.
I mean, this is where you just send it, right?
I guess. You're the expert, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, right.
And here we go, race 4. Lights are green. Arlo with a nice lead. Sweet Savage right behind. And flowing out of that corner. Here comes Bolo Brown, not able to make the pass at the end. That will have some interesting implications for the points of this group. But here's Arlo once again, just on a mission to move on in this tournament, doing so with a very valuable 5 points. Grabs the win with 12, but now we've got a tie between Bolo Brown and Sweet Savage, and we'll finish it with a sudden death. Winner moves on. Lights go green. Sweet Savage with a nice start. Bolo Brown trying to make a run on the outside, but will he have enough? Sweet Savage still out in front, and to the line, Sweet Savage takes the sudden death. Point will move on with Arlo.
I really thought Bolo Brown had more in him, but Sweet Savage, very impressive. Hats off to you, man.
Yeah, great race for Sweet Savage. Secures his spot, moving on to round 2. But Arlo is your winner for Group 2.
Oh man, he's back, and I'm here for it.
The straight line speed for Arlo is something that opponents are going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with. But Sweet Savage, a lot to be said as well. Great performance, nice and tidy around the corners.
You know, Tim, whatever his last name is, cool car, unfortunate result.
Yeah, and same for Bolo Brown. Kept it really close, just unfortunate to not be able to move on.
Yeah, he was such a good driver today.
Well, if this is any sign of what's to come, we are in for one unbelievable tournament. Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, please hit subscribe, and we will see you back at the track for the 2024 IndyCar tournament at Boss Championship Racing.
You know, if I made a mistake like that, I probably wouldn't have a job. So if you mess it up...
Well, you know, mistakes happen, and we can rerun the cars. That's not a problem. So, hey, everybody, welcome back. We are going to run Group 1 again, and there was a mistake that the stewards found in their starting order. So if you're new, you didn't miss anything. Here are your drivers. We got Stony Miles from Milestone Racing. Next up is J-Bo from Dob Squab Racing. Second row, we've got Indy Rain in the 37 from Canada. And next to him is Al Senior from Scottman Racing from Muncie, Indiana. So there was a starting order mistake, and so we're going to rerun the cars and make this a fair event. So here we go. Here are the points for this tournament, the 2024 IndyCar tournament here at Boss Championship Racing.
I mean, this is kind of cool. We get to see the cars race again, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, hey, green, and we're off. Stony Miles with a great start to this race. J-Bo, though, right there. And into the final corner. Stony Miles will take race one. J-Bo in second.
I mean, can we expect a different result for this one?
Anything can happen each lap. There's so much that can go wrong with these cars. So much can go right as well. And Stony Miles still looking fast. Gets 5 points. J-Bo with 3. Indy Rain with 2. And Al Senior with 1.
Still am rooting for Al.
Al Senior had a tough time with the first set of races that were canceled. We'll see if anything changes here. Race number 2. And into the hairpin. There goes Stony Miles and J-Bo again. Big passes on the outside. And to the line, Stony Miles picks up race number 2. J-Bo picks up another second place.
I mean, you'd think if you have pole position, you would be able to pull out in front, but Al is just having a hard time today.
Yeah, great looking car, but just like the first set of races, he was really struggling, and we're seeing it again here. So if you're joining us, though, for the first time, make sure to go back and watch Group 2, as that was a very close race.
Yeah, it sure was.
But here they go, Indy Rain out in front. J-Bo right on his tail. Here comes Al Senior. Can't make the move work. And at the line, what a finish for P2.
That was so close.
Well, here's the replay. Let's see what happened. Indy Rain getting away nicely. Al Senior trying to get in there for P2. Can't make that work. And J-Bo just hanging on. And at the line, we'll have to look at that again with our slow-mo overhead camera. And yeah, that looks like Al Senior will move to P3, sliding across the finish line. Well, here are the points. Stony Miles just with a slight lead, but it's up for grabs for who will move on to round 2. Winner and second place will move on. Here we go. Lights are green. J-Bo out in front. Stony Miles right there with him, but here comes Indy Rain, looking to spoil the party for Stony Miles. And J-Bo will take the win, grabbing 5 points, and will be the winner for Group 1, and we'll move on. Here's the replay. Indy Rain has been making the inside line work all day long.
He's been making it look so easy. It's just too bad he won't be moving on to the second round.
Yeah, it's really too bad for Indy Rain and Al Senior. But the winner for this round, rightfully so, J-Bo in the number 20 from Dob Squab Racing, and Stony Miles coming in second place. They will be moving on now to our round 2, so congrats to them. But unfortunately for Indy Rain and Al Senior, they will be going home. The rematch did not change the outcome for them, unfortunately.
You know, even with the track official just not paying attention and we had to do the redo, I mean, at least we did the right thing.
Yeah, and who knows who this guy is? It's not like he got fired. Or did he get fired? I mean, who cares? Thanks again for watching here at Boss Championship Racing. This has been the IndyCar Tournament of 2024. If you like what you saw, please go ahead and hit subscribe, and we will see you next time. Welcome back, everybody, to the IndyCar Tournament here at Boss Championship Racing. I'm Nils Nilsson, and this is Donnie McFadden.
What's going on, everybody?
Just want to say a quick thank you and shout out to Spoolheads Racing for helping us with the new section of track. Definitely couldn't have done it without you. Well, let's meet the drivers for group number 3.
In the number 84, this is Ignis Sean Sparks of Spirit of 64 Racing.
And next up is Major Finish in the number 7 from Big Poppy Racing of Shelbyville, Tennessee.
And from one of my favorite builders ever, this is Numbskull from Numbskull Racing from Vulcan, Michigan, in the number 12.
And lining up next to him, this is Rosie in the number 2 from 409 Diecast Racing, Dallas, Texas. Well, these are the drivers of group number 3, race number 1 coming up next. Well, again, if you're new, thank you for being here with us. Hope you enjoy the racing. And the cars will rotate clockwise.
I think we're in for a pretty good show today.
I agree. And here we go. Lights go green, and they're off. Great start from Sparks going into that hairpin. Here comes Major Finish, though, into second. But Sparks with a clear lead, getting all that clean air, takes P1 and the 5 points.
Will anyone catch him today? That's really the question for me.
Well, we've just had one race, so here's the replay. And yeah, Sparks with a great lead. Takes P1, but Major Finish with a great pass, coming in P2. Numbskull there as well. In P3, Rosie's got some work to do.
Honestly, I really like Numbskull. I don't know why, I just do.
That's cool. I mean, you can. You're definitely allowed to like a driver. Well, Rosie off to a good start into the hairpin, but here comes Sparks into P1, and Major Finish right behind, can't make it work, and there's a crash in the final corner, and Numbskull looks to be stalled out.
Oh, gotta be kidding me.
Looks like he will be okay.
I just feel like Major Finish went too hard there in the last corner, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's take a look here at the replay, see what happened. Sparks with a clean pass out in front. But all the action here is in P2 and P3. And it looks like Numbskull just gets caught out. And Major Finish didn't have anywhere to go. Here's another look at it. Well, Rosie actually kind of started that.
Yeah, probably just a racing incident. You know, it's tough to say one driver at fault. But unfortunate for Numbskull.
Yep, and that will be a DNF for Numbskull. So he's got his work cut out for him. Sparks with 10 points, quite the lead going into race number 3, but will have his work cut out as well in the back. Here we go for race number 3. Numbskull out in front, Major Finish right behind. Rosie trying to make a move, but can't make it work. And to the line, Numbskull in P1, Major Finish in second, Rosie in third, and Ignis Sean Sparks coming in fourth.
That was a nice, clean race, guys. Way to go.
Sure was, and Numbskull picked up 5 valuable points. Is still in it. We've got one race to go, and it's all on the line here. Ignis Sparks needs a good result. Major Finish needs a good result. But here we go, waiting for the green lights. And they're off. Race number 4. Major Finish out in front. But here comes Sparks and Numbskull.
I have a feeling it's going to be close.
Here comes Sparks into that final corner, but Major Finish able to fend him off, picks up P1, and will lock himself into the next round. Here's the replay. Major Finish going into defensive mode, keeps Sparks behind him, and picks up P1 and secures his spot. So Ignis Sean Sparks with 14 points and Major Finish with 13.
Man, that was just some really great racing all around. Honestly, couldn't ask for more. That was awesome.
It sure was, and Sparks really just had a great car all day. And Big Poppy Racing ought to be happy with that number 7. Major Finish finished well, and we'll be moving on. Unfortunate, though, for Numbskull and Rosie, as the cars just didn't quite have it today. And that DNF really didn't help the number 12.
Yeah, I'm really just bummed for Numbskull. He had a cool car, honestly, but What are you going to do? I guess there's always next year.
But what's interesting as well is that most teams have 2 cars here, so we might see Numbskull again.
You know what they say, legends never die.
True. Well, here we go. We got Group 4. Here's your lineup. This is Al from Stupid Fish Racing.
Oh, I love that car. Well, next up, Mrs. Nefarious from Lone Grove, Oklahoma. I don't know, I have a bad feeling about that car.
Yeah, it just kind of feels dark. I'm kind of scared. Next up is Lady Apotheca Death. What is up with this death stuff?
And lastly, from Las Vegas, this is Driver in the number 48. I like Driver. He's a straightforward kind of guy.
Well, here we go for group number 4. This is race number 1.
I'm not really afraid of death. I was a race car driver for a long time, but I don't know, there's something a little different about these guys.
Well, we're going to try to keep this unbiased. Here's race number 1. Al in the front row, Mrs. Nefarious on the outside. They're off. Al getting a great jump. Qualified really well. And it's showing with all that clean air, getting a great jump. And out of the frame with a 10.8427. Picks up those 5 points. And here's the replay.
I thought for sure Driver would be a little more of a threat, but he really was off the pace, honestly.
Yeah, and Al was well out in front. Mrs. Nefarious there in second. Very clean race number 1 for this group. We will see if race number 2 shows us anything different here.
All I know is I don't want anyone to die.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let's definitely not jinx it. Here they go, green, and they're off. Race number 2, Driver struggling through the hairpin. And there goes Al, Mrs. Nefarious out in front. Can anyone catch them today? In the battle for third, Driver will come in P3. And Lady Apotheca Death stuck in the back.
Did you say stabbed in the back?
No. Stuck in the back, like finished last place. P4.
Yeah, I just can't escape this eerie, dark. I'm just kind of scared, honestly.
It does feel a bit spiritual. I didn't think we were going to talk about spiritual stuff today, but they're green. Race number 3. Lady Death out in front. Mrs. Nefarious right behind. You would be very careful with those two as they cross the line. 1 and 2, and what a close finish for P3.
Looked like Al might have got him. I'm not sure, though.
Well, here's the replay, and again, Mrs. Nefarious, Lady Death out in front, and they come in P1, P2, and at the line, we'll have to go to the overhead slow motion camera, and it looks like Al just sneaks by, and yes, we'll pick up an extra point, finishing in P3. So here are the points going into the final race. Al with a lead at 12 points. And between Mrs. Nefarious and Lady Death, we should have a great battle in the front. The lights go green and they're off. Mrs. Nefarious off to a great start, and Al right behind in second place. Does Lady Death have any magic left?
I see what you did there.
And to the line, Mrs. Nefarious picks up 5 points. And we'll be moving on to round 2 with that win.
I guess the dark side is strong with this one.
That's a great reference. I honestly didn't think you knew anything about sci-fi. But here we are. Apparently, you can race and love Star Wars at the same time.
Well, what's pod racing anyway?
So Al is your winner with 15 points. Mrs. Nefarious right there in second place. Great racing today from them. Al has looked very competitive on track, qualified 13th, and proved today that he's got the car and the pace to compete.
I'm really sad about Driver, a straightforward guy. I mean, I thought he had a little more in him, but I'm just glad he came out to compete.
Yeah, it was a great day. Unfortunate for those two drivers that they will be eliminated from this tournament, but we've got a lot more racing left. Make sure to stick around for the highlights from today's races. Well, thank you again so much for watching here at Boss Championship Racing. You've been watching the IndyCar Tournament of 2024. If you like what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you at next week's race. Welcome back, everybody, to Boss Championship Racing. I'm Nils Nilsson, and this is Donnie McFadden.
I am just so excited to keep this tournament going. The racing has been incredible.
It sure has, and today we've got more racing coming your way. This is round one, groups 5 and 6. Well, here are your drivers. In the number 43 from Houston, Texas, this is Fat Dad of Fat Dad Racing.
And in the orange, number 3 from Holton, Wisconsin, this is Dutch Vandershift.
And lining up behind him in the Ninja Turtles number 3, this is Bolo Brown from Team Miniature Car Racing from Hudson, Florida.
And traveling all the way from Geel, Belgium, this is Gilles Magnus in the number 45 from the Belcast family.
Well, the grid is set. Race number 1 coming up next. Here are the points for this tournament, and the cars will rotate clockwise. 4 races total. Green, and they're off. Fat Dad getting away very nicely into the hairpin, but here comes Dutch Vandershift up into second place. Fat Dad way out in front and grabs the win, crossing the line with an 11.0855 lap time.
That was honestly the perfect start for this group.
Unfortunate there for Gilles Magnus, though, dropping from second to third. But Dutch Vandershift, great move, picks up second place. Fat Dad, though, well out in front with 5 points now. Dutch Vandershift with 3. Oh, wait a minute, where's the lights guy?
Oh, I guess we're going green. Here we go.
Yeah, I gotta find that guy. That was way too quick. Well, here we go into the hairpin. Magnus cannot hold on to the lead, and here comes Dutch Vandershift into second as well. Fat Dad picks up the win, and Vandershift comes in second. Magnus will have to settle for third.
You gotta feel bad for Magnus making that trip from Belgium and just not having the pace today.
On the flip side, the Texan, Fat Dad, and that number 43, absolutely flying with 2 wins now out of 4 races, up to 10 points. Dutch Vandershift with 6. Bolo Brown, haven't talked much about him. Giving it another go here. Race number 3, they go green. Off to a good start, Bolo Brown. Vandershift there right behind him. Right all over, oh, can't make the move. Here comes Fat Dad, though, into P3. What a move there at the final corner.
Fat Dad is putting on a clinic, what can I say?
He sure is, coming from the very, very back and waiting for that perfect time to pounce, gets the pass done, grabs P3 and 2 points. Dutch Vandershift, though, right there with 9, Bolo Brown with 7, and Magnus with 5. Well, here we are for race number 4. Everything is on the line, and they go green.
I'm not a betting man, but Dutch Vandershift can do this. I can just know it.
He's got a good lead, but here comes Fat Dad. Looking on the outside, can't make it work. Then to the inside, off the track, can't make it work either. We'll have to settle for second. Dutch Vandershift able to hold him off, grabs the win, and those two will move on to round 2.
Man, oh man, was that spicy. I loved it.
Fat Dad was not ready to give up for P1. Still will finish P1 of this group, though, with 15 points. Dutch Vandershift with 14. Those two will move on to round 2. And I gotta say, that orange, it's got a very McLaren orange to it. You know what I'm saying?
It looks so good. I really love that car. But congrats to Fat Dad. Wow, what a race.
And what a shame there for Gilles Magnus and Bolo Brown as well. They are both knocked out of this tournament.
You know, they both really gave it their all, so you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great race there from Group 5.
I'm just ready for more racing, you know?
Well, here are your drivers for group number 6 from Wainwright, Alberta. This is Buckshot in the number 68.
And next up in the black, number 12 from the United Kingdom, this is Strike.
Lining up behind him from Boss Championship Racing, St. Paul, Minnesota, this is Tomi Yoshi in the number 11.
And on the outside, this is Lobotomy from Sparks Racing, Las Vegas, Nevada.
The grid is set. Race number 1 is up next. If you're looking to add to your track diorama, make sure to use BOSS20 for 20% off your next order at racetrackscenics.com. Well, here we go, race number 1, and they're off. Buckshot with a great start. Here comes Strike through the hairpin, and it comes out in front. Makes the pass look easy. Does Buckshot have a response? No, he does not. And Strike will take race number 1. Buckshot in second, Tomi Yoshi in third, and Lobotomy in fourth.
Well, Strike was just in an attack mode the whole time. What a race.
He sure was, and Buckshot just didn't have an answer there, but we'll have to settle for 3 points. Strike out in the lead with 5, Tomi Yoshi with 2, Lobotomy with 1.
I guess my question is, will Tomi Yoshi have a response here?
We're about to find out. Lobotomy out in front, Buckshot on the outside, and through the hairpin, gets out in front, and Strike as well, both making the pass. And can Yoshi make the pass? Doesn't look like he made it work at the finish line.
Oh, so close there for Tomi Yoshi. What a shame.
Yeah, looks like Lobotomy just off the pace a bit, and Strike, Buckshot just getting a clear path to the finish line. A little bit of a late charge there from Lobotomy and Tomi Yoshi. Here it is again. And yeah, Tomi Yoshi coming in fourth, tied with 3 points with Lobotomy. Strike and Buckshot up with 8. Still a lot more racing to go at the halfway mark. Here we go for race number 3. Tomi Yoshi, Lobotomy in the front row, and they go green. Yoshi with a great start through the hairpin. Strike right there though. But Tomi Yoshi with all the clean air, flying through the corners and takes P1. Strike, Buckshot, and Lobotomy will finish out P2, 3, and 4.
See, this gives me hope for Yoshi. What a great race for him.
Yeah, when he's got the clean air, he is just flying through these corners. Seems to struggle, though, if it's in the dirty air.
Well, if you're going to be a champion, you got to be able to do both.
That is for sure. And we've got one more race to see if Tomi Yoshi can prove it to Donnie McFadden that he's got it. Well, here we go. Strike on the inside. This is going to be a good one, and they're off.
Well, he doesn't have to prove it. He just has to finish in first here.
Well, here we go through the hairpin. Strike out in front. Buckshot as well. And Strike is way out in front. Buckshot there. Tomi Yoshi and Lobotomy. And you've got your winner with Strike coming in first. Buckshot in second. Tomi Yoshi in third, and Lobotomy in fourth.
Strike absolutely deserved it today. Buckshot as well. Great race from those guys. Tomi Yoshi and Lobotomy, just a bummer for them.
All the way from the United Kingdom, Strike in the number 12. What a great performance. Absolutely dominated today in group number 6.
And Buckshot from Canada, man, whatever they're feeding him out there, he just had elbows out, aggressive, got those results.
And a bummer for Tomi Yoshi, one of our own. Unfortunate there to come in P3, and Lobotomy as well. They are eliminated from the tournament. Well, what a day of racing. What stood out to you today?
The racing action was top notch.
You have been watching Boss Championship Racing, the IndyCar Tournament of 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for groups 7 and 8. Welcome to Boss Championship Racing. I'm Nils, and this is Donnie McFadden, and we are here at the 2024 IndyCar Tournament for Groups 7 and 8.
I am so ready for this. Let's meet the drivers.
Absolutely, Donnie. On the pole from Spirit of 64 Racing in the number 64, this is Cinder Foley.
And in the green, number 44 from Colchester, United Kingdom, from Raptors Racing, this is Rory.
And in the blue and yellow, number 49 from Palmer, Alaska, and Three Ravens Racing, this is Olivia May.
And lining up in the back from Whitby, Ontario, from Crazy Canuck, this is Crazy Canuck in the 53.
Well, there's your lineup for group number 7. Race 1 is coming up next. Here are the points from RacetrackScenics.com.
This should be good. 4 races. These cars look fast.
They sure do, and I'm just so impressed by that Target livery. Well, we're going green. Cinder Foley in the lead through the hairpin, and Rory as well coming through. But look at Crazy Canuck. This pace is looking really fast to the line.
You know, he didn't really qualify that well, Crazy Canuck, but this is crazy, honestly.
It sure is, and most of the time after qualifying, you kind of have a good feel for the car, how they're going to perform on track. But this is quite the story. Crazy Canuck has shown up.
We'll have to see, though. There's going to be 3 more races, and anything can happen, as we know.
You are absolutely right, as always. Thank you, Donnie. Green, and they're off. Race number 2, and Crazy Canuck showing off that speed. Cinder Foley with a nice run, and here comes Rory as well with a pass on Olivia May. But at the line, what a crazy fast lap. Crazy Canuck takes P1.
This is nuts. I feel like I've never seen this happen in real life, but I'm seeing it with my own eyes right now.
This could be the biggest underdog story, but we are only in round 1 after all, so the main objective is to move on. Here's that pass from Rory on Olivia May, just struggling around those corners.
There's no traction, mate. My tires are gone.
And there you have it from Rory himself. Well, Hamish is back. Let's go trackside.
First of all, Nils, let me say how excited I am to be back in the pits. That smell of petrol and burnt rubber, it really was a great day for a motor car race.
Hamish, what do you think of Crazy Canuck?
He really was no surprise to me. I learned long ago to never underestimate those Canadians. They may appear mild-mannered on the surface, but if you've ever attended a hockey game with a Canadian involved, you know they have some scrapper in them.
Hamish, thank you. Well, here we go, race number 3, and they're off. Olivia May into the hairpin. Crazy Canuck around the outside takes the lead. And away he goes, takes P1 for race number 3. Unbelievable. What are we watching right now, Donnie?
We are watching one of the greatest athletes of all time just get in that cockpit and let it fly.
I mean, it could be like Hyde and Jekyll, Jekyll and Hyde. Who's showing up, qualifying, race day. Does it really matter? It does. This is race day.
It totally matters. You're right.
He's dominated. But here we go, race number 4. Rory will need a miracle. Olivia May as well. The group staying very close together through the hairpin and around the corner. Rory with a little bit of a lead. And Olivia May off the track. And then there's a crash in the final corner.
Oh my gosh. I hope she's okay. Oh, she's upside down. Oh no.
Well, we've got the best safety crew in the world here, so they should be here any second. Let's go to the instant replay. She should be okay, right?
Did you just chuckle? This is someone's life on the line.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you laugh when you're scared.
Well, now is not the time, all right? So let's just look at this replay, see what happened.
Okay, you're so right. All right, so Rory kind of cuts off Olivia May. Cinder Foley also gets tied up, had nowhere to go, and Olivia May flipped it in the last corner. What a wicked ride.
Great to see the safety crew there. Gosh, you just really hate to see someone flip it like that. Scary stuff.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to see if she's okay. And there goes the ambulance.
I tell you, they're the best in the world.
Well, Crazy Canuck and Cinder Foley will move on. Crazy Canuck with 16 points. Never finished lower than second place out of those 4 races.
He will be an absolute force moving into that second round.
Cinder Foley as well, great result for him. Rory's got to be disappointed. Qualified one of the best in this group and yet unable to move on to the second round.
Yeah, it seems kind of mysterious why you qualify well and then you show up for the race and
You don't have to finish that sentence. I'm sure he gets it. Disappointing. And for Olivia May, she'll have to be heading home. Hopefully she's okay. Hamish, are you supposed to be up there?
We're all access here, Nils. I'm up here on the flatbed with Olivia's car. I'm not sure how Olivia's doing. We'll keep her in our prayers. But her car came out of it with not so much as a scratch. Almost as if it were die-cast. I'm sure we'll be seeing her racing again.
Thanks, Hamish. Well, let's meet the next group of drivers. This is Misty from Puffs Racing.
And lining up next to Misty in the number 86 from Wainwright, Alberta, this is Rex Cars.
Hey, Donnie, look who's back.
Oh my gosh.
It's Numbskull from Vulcan, Michigan in the orange number 40.
Cannot believe he's back. Lining up next to Numbskull, this is Alex Blaze in the number 22 from South Point, Ohio in Dob Squab Racing.
Here we go for group number 8, but first, for 20% off, use BOSS20 at racetrackscenics.com. More info in the description below. If you're into diorama, you might want to check it out. Green and they're off. Misty off to a great start. Alex Blaze with some blazing speed. And through the corners they go.
Come on, Numbskull.
Misty in P1 taking race number 1. Alex Blaze moving up into P2.
Rex Cars looked a little slower than I remember in qualifying. But as we know, when it comes to racing, a lot can happen and you never really know who's going to show up.
You know, if I didn't have you on the show anymore, I'm not sure what I would do. You have such insight and wisdom into racing. It's something to behold. Here we go, green, 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 race number 2. Alex Blaze out in front, Numbskull in second. Here comes Misty all the way from 3rd to 1st. Can Alex Blaze come back? No, he cannot. And Misty from P3 to P1. What a race that was.
Can anybody slow her down? I don't think so. That was the coolest pass I've ever seen. Passed 2 cars in one move.
It was super clean and well-deserved. Misty out in front in a big way. 2 wins, up to 10 points. Alex Blaze there with 6.
I hear what you're saying with the points, but Numbskull is on the pole.
You're right. Here we go for race number 3. Lights are green. Numbskull with a nice little lead. But here comes Alex Blaze through the inside, through the corner, and Numbskull not having any of it. Cost him big time at the line.
You sounded really convincing there. That was really energetic, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. That one was exciting. Something about Numbskull almost holding on to that P1, but Alex Blaze was right there, even with that bump, and made Numbskull pay for it. Went from P1 to P3. There it is with the overhead camera.
All I'm saying is I really like the trajectory of your energy, and just keep it going, okay?
Okay, thanks, Donnie, but I really do care about the racing. And here we go for race number 4. Green, and they're off. Rex Cars into the hairpin. Numbskull with a run. Will he make the pass? It's neck and neck, wheel to wheel. And it's even closer through the last corner, but Numbskull comes out on top. What a way to wrap up this group. Wow.
I'm not crying. I have to applaud the effort because he was already eliminated and yet put on that show for us fans. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Numbskull.
That was a close one there for Misty, almost stalling out, but able to keep it on track, grabs the point and the win with 14 points. your Group 8 winner.
Very impressive. Way to go, Misty. And from Dobb Squab Racing in the 22, Alex Blaze was blazing today. Congrats to him.
Numbskull and Rex cars, unfortunately, will be eliminated from the tournament. But what a great way to wrap it up. What a great race. Donnie, I don't know how to wrap this up. That was incredible. I just can't wait for the next group of cars.
Well, you and me both, man. I love this job. I love the racing, the culture. It's awesome.
You have been watching Boss Championship Racing. If you liked what you saw, please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you next week for groups 9 and 10 of round 1. We will see you next time. It's race day here at Boss Championship Racing. Welcome back. I am Nils Nilsson, and this is Donnie McFadden. Donnie, you're looking so classy with those green shoes.
Well, what can I say? I just wake up and kind of wear the same thing every day.
Well, if you're looking for some new stuff to wear, you might want to check out our official merch store. Link is in the description below.
Well, what if I work here already? Would I get a free shirt?
You know, we could probably work something out. Well, here we go for our IndyCar tournament. This is Mr. Dark in the number 13 from Dubious Diecast.
And lining up next to him from Puff's Racing in the number 17, this is Puff from New Bedford, Massachusetts.
And lining up third, this is N-Count from the Chase family from Greenfield, Massachusetts.
And finally, from Shelbyville, Tennessee, from Big Poppy Racing, this is Mayday Foyt.
Well, this is group number 9 in our IndyCar tournament. Race number 1 coming up next. Well, today we'll have 2 groups racing, 4 races per group. There's the points brought to you by RacetrackScenics.com. If you're new to the channel, the cars will rotate clockwise, so each car will have an equal shot at each position. And here we go, race number 1, green, and they're off. Mr. Dark out in front. Here comes Mayday Foyt, but also Puff up into second. And rounding the final corner, here comes Mr. Dark taking race number 1, and Puff coming in P2.
Mr. Dark really showing the pace early, and Puff right there with him, so they could be the ones to watch. Looked like N-Count was really struggling around the hairpin.
Yeah, and Mayday Foyt was able to make him pay for that. So here are the points after race number 1. Mr. Dark with 5, Puff with 3, Mayday Foyt with 2, N-Count with 1. And here we go, race number 2. It is green, and they are off. Mayday Foyt out in pole position. But will Mr. Dark make a run? He will, and Puff as well into second. Now it's Puff chasing Mr. Dark into the line. Looks like Mr. Dark takes P1.
Yeah, Puff is looking really fast as well, but Mr. Dark just had a little bit more in race number 2.
Yeah, Mr. Dark definitely has a little something special, a little something different, and I'm not sure if it's a physical thing or not, because he's Mr. Dark.
What do you mean?
Number 13. Do I have to spell it out any more than that?
Are we getting spiritual again? Because it sure feels like it.
Well, I'm not an expert, and I'm here for racing. So here we go, race number 3, N-Count in the front row. Let's see if there's something different here for N-Count. Puff giving him a little push, but here comes Mayday Foyt and Mr. Dark as well. Does Puff have anything at the line? And he will have to settle for P4.
Well, let's take a look. It looks like N-Count was really slow around the outside, yet able to keep himself out in front.
Yeah, and that led to Mayday Foyt, Mr. Dark, battling for P2 all the way to the line. Here's the overhead slow motion replay. And yes, Mayday Foyt will come in P2. We've got a 3-way tie for second place. Mr. Dark out in front with 12, but only the top 2 will move on. So who will it be? Will it be Puff? Will it be End Count? Or will it be Mayday Foyt? Here we go, race number 4. Puff with a great start. Mr. Dark right behind. And there goes Puff. Will anyone catch him this lap? Doesn't look like it. Putting in a great time. And Puff will move on with that win. Donnie, what was the difference there for Puff?
He was out in front early, and he didn't look back. And Mr. Dark kept him close, but it was all Puff all day long. He's moving on.
He sure is. But your winner for group number 9 in round number 1 is Mr. Dark in the number 13. And there is Mr. Dark. He is with us in the flesh, in person. Unbelievable. I wasn't expecting that.
Should we call security?
I think we'll be all right. I mean, we've got people everywhere, so they should be able to handle this. Well, unfortunate here for Mayday Foyt and End Count, as they just did not quite have it, and so they will be going home. Donnie, what do you think went wrong for End Count?
You know, I think he just lost a lot of momentum into the hairpin, which really would affect your racing pace. So, unfortunate.
Well, here we go for group number 10. This is Jen Vanderschiff from Dutch Clutch Racing in the orange number 9.
And lining up from Lawrence, Kansas, and the number 8 from Milestone Racing, this is Dusty Miles.
And from Colorado Springs, from Rasangad, this is Rasangad in the number 79.
And lining up from West Jefferson, North Carolina, in the number 2 from Stupid Fish Racing, this is Gordon.
Race number 1 coming at you, but first, if you want 20% off from Racetrack Scenics, make sure to check out the link in the description below.
Who do you got going number 1 for this round, Nils?
I honestly don't have a favorite. So here we go, race number 1, green, green, green. Jen Vanderschiff off to a great start. Gordon right behind. But here comes Dusty Miles in the green number 8. Makes the pass on the inside and going for more. And oh, we got a spin.
Oh my.
And wow, I hope Gordon's okay. I hope the car's okay.
That was a really weird place to spin. Someone could have died.
Well, Dusty Miles putting the move on Gordon, and then Gordon with the drift on the last straightaway, but able to finish out the race with a little help from Rasangad. That was pretty sketchy to start this group off for race number 1. So, we're going to keep moving. Looks like Gordon is okay. He's on the pole. Let's see what he can do. Lights go green, and they are off. Jen with a little bit of a lead going into the hairpin, and Dusty Miles going for second, takes P2, and looking for more all over the back bumper. Jen will take race number 2 in 5 points, but we've got a little bit of a pileup in the last corner.
I'm not sure, but the way Gordon is racing is a little suspect. It's a weird place to stall out.
Let's take a look at the Boss Championship Racing instant replay. Jen Vanderschiff able to make the pass. Dusty Miles as well, and a huge spin on that straightaway. Stalls, Rasangad gets collected, and then they just stop in that final corner.
It seems like Gordon is just kind of bottoming out, and when he hits the straightaway, the car just has no idea what to do.
It sure seems like it. So I guess we will have to wait and see if there's any hope for him. Here we go, race number 3, and they are off. Rasangad and Gordon in the front, battling it out through that hairpin. Gordon coming out in front, Jen Vanderschiff in second, and through the final corner, Gordon able to hang on for P1. Jen Vanderschiff will have to settle for second.
Yeah, you can see here Rasangad just got stuck in that corner. Dusty Miles had nowhere to go.
And back out in front, Gordon able to just edge Jen Vanderschiff at the line, coming up with a huge 5 points. Puts him right there with Dusty Miles with 7. The top 2 are going to advance to the next round.
I have a feeling Dusty Miles has it. He's had the pace all day, but we will see.
Well, here we go for race number 4. The lights go green. Dusty Miles out in front. Jen Vanderschiff all over the back bumper. but Dusty looking to check out into the final corner and to the line. Oh!
Did you see that?
How did he finish that race in P1? Here's the replay. It was all Dusty Miles, all race. This lap, it was all Dusty. There was nothing getting in his way until he just ran right into the fence and then somehow finishes in reverse, gets the 5 points, and will be moving on to round number 2.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. It doesn't matter if it's a fence. Winners are gonna win.
That's for sure. Jen Vandershift is your winner for this group. We'll be moving on, as well as Dusty Miles. They both showed excellent pace all day long. Unfortunate for Gordon and Rossengard, as those DNFs were very costly, and they will be headed home.
All I gotta say is next round is gonna be amazing. We've had such good racing. I'm looking forward to it, Nils.
If round 2 is anything like round 1, we're in for an incredible tournament. Thank you so much for watching the IndyCar tournament here at Boss Championship Racing. If you liked what you saw, please hit like and hit subscribe, and we will see you for round number 2.